19 years of a marriage that looked all right. And one day his wife wakes up and says, I want a divorce. Steve had never had anxiety in his life until that day.
After a 19-year marriage, my wife thought it was a good idea that we get divorced. I woke up this morning. I thought it'd be a great idea we get divorced. What? And I had severe anxiety.
And then lying on his floor, he had a revelation which changed his approach to life forever.
I said to myself, what if that is love that I depressed, like a French coffee press with a hole in it? What if I depressed myself and it spewed outside of me?
And Steve Barton calls it the Game of 10, a framework built over 4 decades, 6 phrases that have the power of changing your life.
I am enough.
I'm enough.
I do enough.
I do enough.
And I have enough.
And I have enough. And these are not affirmations, these are declarations of innocence. Innocence that all of us carry within ourselves throughout life. Through all the scars that life gives us, we still carry that innocence.
Guilt is I did something bad, you did something bad. Shame is I am bad, you are bad. Be unapologetically yourself.
Unapologetically you. And if you listen to this episode, by the end of it, you'll have 6 phrases that have the power of transforming this idea of being not enough that you've lived with so far. Let's dive in and build that unapologetic self. Before we dive into the podcast, there's just one humble request. Every week when my team brings me the data, I see that 84% of you are not subscribed to the channel. I truly appreciate you for being here, and it means the world to me that you're listening to our conversations. But it'd be amazing if you can click on that subscribe button. What it'll help us do is to bring better and bigger guests for you as you and us, we continue to live, lead, and build our lives. It takes a lot of blood, sweat, tears as a small podcast to bring these to you, but it gives us immense joy, and so we plan to continue forever. So click that subscribe button, and it tells us that you're here. Thank you. Welcome, Steve. Looking forward to this conversation today.
Well, thank you, Utkarsh. I really appreciate you having me. I'm in Portland, Maine, north of Boston, 2 hours north of Boston. You're a day ahead of me, and looking forward to being in your time tomorrow. So
yeah, the future looks amazing, Steve. So get to your Friday when you get to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Even kind of before I begin into the real podcast conversation, Steve, something that comes to my mind often is that we all want to be high achievers. And we reach that state. And then we reach that mountain and we feel like, this was not enough. This makes me still anxious. This makes me still empty. Why does that happen to us, Steve?
We're conditioned to want the carrot on the stick. We're conditioned to want more. It's not enough. You have to have that drive of fear, failure. We're conditioned for that. We're conditioned for self-doubt. We're conditioned for guilt of being wrong. We're afraid to be wrong because if we're wrong, we feel guilty for being wrong. Why didn't I know? And it is. I said to a friend the other day, he does work around the U.S. a lot with Zoom productions. I said, Bernie, you know what's really weird? He goes, what? I said, everything. We just started laughing for 5 minutes. That's all I had to say, because it is so weird how we're conditioned. And our egoic mind is conditioned to protect us. But it's like this mother who never let go of its child to protect it from harm. And we don't need it most of the time. We don't need it ever, actually. So I'll say that. That's 100% accurate. We don't need it. It's a tool. It's our identity. So I guess if you have to have an identity to be separate from other people in society, I guess you do need it. That's what separates us from it. But I think the wisdom is that we aren't it, and to recognize that we have it as a tool to say, I'm Steve and you are Utkarsh, and that's who we are, but to differentiate each other, but that's not who we are. So
yeah, I think another layer that's getting added to that, Steve, is that we are conditioned to look at success or high achievement or performance from only that outer lens. where until unless my title shows you, until unless my podcast shows you I have 1 million followers, until unless my bank balance shows you I have like $10 million, even though I don't, even I wish I had, but until unless we see those outer metrics, it feels incomplete, right? And that's the world keeps telling you that that's the carrot. But there's so many other carrots you could eat, right? Why look at that one carrot that we are aiming for?
Well, people want that to validate talking to you. They want that. I know this from being a podcast guest. They want to know that I have done accomplishments. Like I presented the Game of 10 to Harvard Business School case study team. A friend of mine in my BNI local business group goes, whatever did you get from that? I said, bragging rights. That's right. So
love it.
they, the thing is, I had the balls to do it, to really put myself out there to really be vulnerable. And I think that is the key to success. I don't fail ever. And I don't pursue wild, fanciful dreams either, too. I know what I'm capable of. I know how to make it work. And I don't quit when I know. I will adjust. I will modify. I will do what it takes, because it's a business and marketing, and in itself is a moving target. What worked a year ago may not work today. So you've got to be really, as I used to say, nimble, the buzzwords, you have to be really flexible in your life. It's resilience, it's vulnerability, it's courage, it's all of that. So
so we'll speak about all of that, and I love where this conversation is going already. But we want to start with that moment, Steve, when none of this actually mattered, when you were that 8-year-old boy growing wherever you were. If that young boy were to come and meet you right now, Steve, the 8-year-old Steve and the current Steve, what kind of a conversation would emerge between the two of you?
He would not really give a shit about anything. And I spent so much of my life.
Thank you for your honesty.
Giving a big shit. And I care. I had to even come up with a word. When you deeply, deeply, deeply care and deeply, deeply don't give a hoot. Okay.
Yeah.
And so I did a chat, Gemini and Grok, and they all came up with 2 words, and it's compassionate detachment. And in Buddhism, detachment is the end of suffering. And thought, we actually are attached to our thoughts. So I wanted to come up with one word because I love simplicity. So with my brand, I love branding, I love marketing, I love business. And so I came up with a word. None of them came up with the right word, one word. So I came up with tenkare, 10 care, TENCARE. And just to make it bougie, put on an accented gu at the end. So it's called tenkare. I deeply, deeply care. I deeply, deeply don't, and I talked to, I was actually at a Christmas party this year, and there were a couple of psychologists there. I talked to them about detachment, and it is a thing. Transference is a real thing in communications, especially when you're doing deep work with people who are, if you're working with someone depressed all day long and different clients all day long that are depressed, it's not uncommon for people to get this transference. And we're energetic beings having a physical experience. And that energy does, if we're not setting healthy energetic boundaries, then we can attach to those energies. And it comes in very subtly until you go, holy God, this is like, I'm depressed. I can't talk to another person. I need a lot of therapists go to therapists. So,
Correct.
For that reason.
Yeah. I love this idea of compassionate detachment. I think I've also not found a single word. I'm going to start using 10 care. That sounds really cool.
Well, if you want to be really cool, it's tenkare.
And tenkare.
That's bougie.
I'll practice that. Yeah, I'll practice that.
Tenkare.
Yeah. And the way I've seen it is that, so I coach a lot of people, and I often tell them that I'll forget about you at the end of the conversation, even though that sounds rude, but I have to forget about, because then and only then will I be able to be present to the next conversation and the next conversation. Because if I start to carry each one of those conversations with me, then I'm going to be biased. Then I'm going to be attached. Then I'm not maybe going to be compassionate. Where do you see this practically applicable, this idea of Tenkari?
Well, that's a great segue into the game of 10. There's 6 phrases in the game of 10 that are designed to clear the mind of all thought. Because what these 6 phrases do, they answer all the questions our egoic mind, or as Eckhart Tolle calls it, the mind-made self, is constantly asking our mind. Is it, putting it into 10, the level of 10, stasis, homeostasis. That's like 10 is the set ground for it all. But typically it's loaded with 60,000 thoughts a day. The Cleveland Clinic study, you've probably heard about it. 60,000 thoughts a day. 80% of those thoughts are negative, 20% are positive, 80% are from the past, and 20% from the present day. I like to say they're all, everyone except the one that are present momently downloaded from an idea, turned into a thought. Those are the only sane thoughts that we have. The rest are old. I call them old food in the refrigerator that you haven't thrown away. Okay. That's food for thought. Okay. So rancid food for thought. And, so the 6 phrases, and I'd love to have you do it with me. And I'll say, when I say that we are 10, it means that we are the highest level of awareness within ourselves. We are the divinity. We are the awareness. We are the consciousness that is connected and aligned with source energy, the collective consciousness, awareness. So that's what this means when you say that. So I am 10.
I'm 10.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I'm always right with the awareness that I have.
I am enough.
I'm enough.
I do enough.
I do enough.
And I have enough.
And I have enough. Can we pause for 30 seconds? I'll give you a very personal example. This week has been slightly more overwhelming. Even coaches and podcast hosts have overwhelming weeks. This is news to everyone who's listening. And as I was going through this week, I spoke to someone who kind of aspired and reached out to be a guest on the podcast. And that person, who will soon be on the podcast, got injured when they were 20 years old. And they're now 75. And so for the last 55 years, they've been on a single wheelchair. Because at 20, they were studying engineering and they were playing football, American football. And in a tackle, their neck vertebra got broken. And so the whole body beyond that is paralyzed. And I asked myself, Utkarsh, you aspire to be so many things and do so many things and want so many things. Why do you keep forgetting that this moment is enough? And so when you made me go through these 6 phrases, Steve, it was beautifully grounding, to say the least.
Thank you.
Where did these statements emerge from for you, Steve? Like, where did they come from?
I downloaded them.
Not from the universe?
Not from the internet. Yes, the natural intelligence, not AI. It was done. Yeah, someone asked me that about 5 years ago. Another coach said, "Where'd you come up with the game of 10? Did you?" It's over a culmination of years trying to, listening to everybody. How do I hone it down to the simplicity of what it is? Yeah. I can't think of any other phrases I have to add to it. I've asked chat, nothing. I'm getting nothing from it other than because I think it's complete. I'm open. The game of 10 is fluid. It's really it's dynamic. I'm open to change. I'm open to be wrong. I'm open to being right.
Mm.
Tenkare. Okay.
Mm.
So Tenkare. So the first phrase is really a declaration of who we are.
Mm.
The next two phrases are declarations of our divine innocence.
Mm.
And I had an awareness today that people feel guilty when they find out that they're wrong. And if you tell someone they're wrong, you're casting guilt on them. And that's why so many people in politics today so hold on to their beliefs, because if they're wrong, they're going to have to be overwhelmed with guilt for being wrong, no matter what it is, even if it doesn't matter. It's amazing how the guilt that people hold on to.
Yeah.
So those two phrases, I'm doing the best I can with the awareness I have. I'm always right with the awareness I have, are declarations of our innocence, the opposite of guilt and shame. Guilt is I did something bad, you did something bad. Shame is I am bad, you are bad. It's pretty much that simple. So the next three phrases, I am enough, I do enough, and I have enough, the be, do, have of the present moment, of awareness, the universal time is now, the present moment of being, doing, and having. And the I am is a declaration of our divinity. And then we have the universal quantity, the universal space. Time space collapses into oneness, which everything is one. Body, mind, spirit, body, mind, energy, whatever you want to call it. It's one. We're connected. So it's really about connection. It's about in relationship with ourselves. I did a LinkedIn post this week. I think it's my favorite one because it sums up everything that I know. And what if the only thing we had to believe in is ourselves?
Yeah. Sounds right. Sounds amazing. Sounds something that all 8.5 billion people on the planet should do. But it's still a far-fetched idea, Steve. So help me. Help me stand in the shoes of someone who's 31 years old. They've just gone through a divorce. And they've been laid off because AI and tech and everything's taking away jobs. And they feel like, bleep, what the hell is happening to my life? And they can't even imagine in a figment of their imagination, they cannot think that, oh, there's hope left. Where does that person go?
Right to themselves. The buck stops here. Go to yourself. And it is, I used to use the word counterintuitive, but in my mind, there's no such thing as counterintuitive. It's only intuitive. Intuition, we are intuitive, we're intentional. Goal setting. We are intuitive, able to receive wisdom divinely. And that's our intuition. But we have to clear our thoughts of we're not enough. Fear, self-doubt, guilt, shame. Those four elements. And that is the game often played, 1 through 9. So we are intuitive, intentional, energetic beings having a physical experience. We are, the other phrase I like to say is, we're here to recreate. We're here to recreate. What? Heaven on earth. Recreate, recreate, same word. Different emphasis. It's really simple. You said to me when we first met, it's so simple. I said, I know.
Yeah.
But I do understand. I was at the place where people, I remember, there was a time when all I could do is take a breath. Take one breath. What do I have? I did an inventory of self. What do you have? You have a breath. Okay, take a breath. Can you take 2? Yes. Take another breath. So I've been there. So I do know where I'm coming from now. Will I ever go back there? No, I can't. It just won't happen. I don't care what happened. I will never go back to that because I've been there and I have experienced it. I got over it. I would be incredibly surprised I ever went back to that. I don't think I can get hurt in any way and keep my heart open at the same time. I can't get hurt. I've been hurt and I know what it's like to close my heart. And here's what is intuitive too, is that when we close our heart, we have this immense energy that wants to come out. The pain is it has no place to go. And it's just like, it's wrenching, it's heart wrenching. And because that energy goes back in you, it's not supposed to. You stop the flow. Whereas you keep your heart open, the energetic chakras, keep them open all the time.
Yeah.
Have boundaries, but don't have walls. Boundaries are healthy. Walls are hurtful.
Again, I believe in everything, and I feel like it is actually that simple. For someone who's playing the game often played, and is in a tough spot for where they are from the awareness that they're operating with. What does that look like on a day-to-day? What have you seen working with others?
Looks like depression. It looks like, okay, here's the other thing too. If you have depression, you have to have anxiety. I came up with this about 12 years ago, after a 19-year marriage, my wife thought it was a good idea that we get divorced. I woke up this morning. I thought it'd be a great idea we get divorced. What?
19 years later.
19 years later, I said, no, it's not a good idea. And she stuck to it. We've never had talk about, I need closure. Well, there's no closure. It was just like, okay. And I never had anxiety before. I mean, I ran a flower business that did $2 million in sales. One weekend, I did 20 weddings and $60,000 back 20 years ago. I didn't have any anxiety. I didn't have time to have it. Okay. There was just no time to have it. And, I had severe anxiety. That was when I was telling you about breathing. I have a breath. So I do know what it's like. And when I do have this, if I have something else, great. It's so simple, as we talked about. In A Course in Miracles says, that which is real cannot be threatened. That which is unreal does not exist. Herein lies the peace of God. So after a month of having this anxiety, I said, only love is real. And I had this wave. So those of you out there who have the wave of anxiety come over you, I have experienced it for about a month. And what if that is love? I said to myself, what if that is love that I depressed, like a French coffee press with a hole in it? What if I depressed myself and it spewed outside of me? And I actually talked to some depressed people before, or anxious, severe anxiety. I said, does it feel like you're beside yourself? She goes, oh my God, yes. I said, you are. Get your energy back in. And how I did mine was, I was laying there when I had that aha moment. That's my energy, my love energy, chi, whatever you want to call it, spirit, soul. I don't know what it is. It's energy. And it was outside of me. And I said to myself, you get your shit back in here now. Back in. So I had an out-of-body experience without knowing it. Okay. And this is what we have. We do a lot of the game often played is most people give their energy away to a person, place, or situation daily, day in and day out, to their spouse, to their job, to their kids, to their image, to their identity. And they're spewing out energy all day long and wonder why they're depressed, wonder why they're angry, wonder why they're on SSIs that don't help. I say, I'm not against medication to get it regulated, but figure it out, do it along with therapy, because, I see what's happening to people. Yeah.
So people are depressed. They have that wave of anxiety. They're giving away their energy. And so they wake up in the morning. By the end of the day, they feel like depleted. They feel like, what the hell just happened to my life? They're waiting for that weekend. They're waiting for like the Saturday and Sunday to arrive to recover and recharge and renew and take a vacation and take a break. And then they're back Monday morning. But they never take the time to renew that energy that you're talking about, to recreate that energy.
Play. That energy is fun. It is fun. That is your spirit, high spirit. You want all of it in you, grounded. All right. The key is, I think a lot of people get that and they don't ground themselves either, because we are physical grounded to this earth, this planet, and we have to really just be solidly into our body. Okay. So many people do this work and they are from the heart up, and they're flighty and they're not taken seriously if you're that way, because you have to be as deeply the roots of a tree. Think of a 30 meter, I'm US, so a 60-foot oak tree, maple tree, ASIM. You know, that tree has roots going down that deep and that wide. And that's who we are too. So it's a metaphor. So be as deep as you are high, and then you're grounded and you're whole. That is a wholeness that we don't often talk about. That I don't even think I could get depressed if I tried. I could, but why? Why? Yeah, I know how to, but I just would be like, I know how to do other things that don't work.
But can't get. I think I like the phrase that you use, that I can't get hurt, and makes me think of David Goggins as well. Makes me think of people who have pushed the limits, who pushed the boundaries on what human potential, what we feel humans can do, and then they rise above that and they raise the bar for everyone to follow on that. So I agree with all of that. And what I'm hearing is that whoever is going through that state, what you and I are asking them right now to do is to pause and take a deep breath. That's the smallest you can start with, because you at least have that. Is that where we are?
That was my basic. Was never suicidal. And that would have been the next step, is end it. It would be, but then again, I had an out-of-body experience when I was 36, so I know you don't die. So, there's that. I had that. So it's like, why? I am not going to do that. So yes, and also take an inventory of gratitude. Just what do you have? Do an inventory. What do you have in your life? I had a 13-year-old son. I had a place to live. Okay. Basically I was doing gratitude without even knowing it. And you can't be depressed if you find anything that you have that's somewhat gives you gratitude, grace. It really is an establishment of your grace and your gratitude, who we are, but our mind thinks who we aren't. And that's depressive. Who we aren't all day long, and what we don't have all day long. I don't do enough. I don't have enough. I'm not enough. I can explain the game often played, which is so fascinating. It's 4 elements of fear, 1 through 9, self-doubt, 1 through 9, guilt, 1 through 9, and shame, 1 through 9. There's 6,541 options. 9 times 9 times 9 times 9. That's how many options there are in that game often played. The Matrix. That's why so many people live in the Matrix the whole life.
I'm going to pause you, and I'm going to ask you, Steve, to do this again, what you just did, but look at the camera.
Okay.
You're going down again and again, so I'm bringing you back. We'll edit this out.
You mesmerized me.
No, go up. Go back to the green dot.
Go up.
Yes.
Go back.
Stay on the green dot.
Yes. So go into the light, Steve.
Yes. Go to the light. Start again from you said the mind thinks of who we aren't, and then explain this again.
Okay. So the mind thinks who we aren't. I don't have enough. I don't do enough. I'm not enough. And that is in all the other things that the game, the 6 phrases that we talked about. So in the game often played, there's 4 elements. There's fear, 1 through 9. There's self-doubt, 1 through 9. There's guilt, 1 through 9. And there's shame, 1 through 9. And there's 6,541 options that we can have. choices that we can have in this game often played. So it's no wonder most people stay in this game most of their life. Sometimes they have awarenesses outside of that, but that is the matrix, and that is the basics of what the movie The Matrix is on. Is on. It's our egoic state of fear, self-doubt, guilt, and shame. So many options in there, they all lead you into the ditch eventually. So 9 will eventually, you'll hit a wall. 1, you already hit that wall. Okay. So, but a lot of people that I work with, 9s, highly effective, highly successful, but they all reach that wall eventually because it's never enough.
It's so like it's so beautiful, this idea that how the mind keeps going back to what we aren't, and there's so much to be grateful for. And I was talking to a friend yesterday, they're in India, and so they asked Utkarsh, how are you doing, and all of that. We were speaking after a few weeks, and so I was telling them, oh, it's really cold here today in Melbourne. It was -2 degrees yesterday. And they were saying how it's so hot in Delhi, about 42 degrees. And they asked me, Utkarsh, what do you enjoy more, the heat or the cold? Like, I enjoy both. Because I can switch on the air conditioning, I can switch on the heating. I'm so grateful for this ability to actually manage the temperature. Who am I to say that the sun, go away, I don't want you right now? Or say the sun, come back because I want heat right now. But I have this opportunity, so that's absolutely being grateful for. And I think it's such an easy shift. People can do that. But this idea of how the brain keeps taking us back to the fear, to the self-doubt, the shame, the guilt. I feel, Steve, this is a great moment for everyone who's listening. They are going back to those thoughts. So let's do this. Let's repeat those 6 statements again. And this time, once you say a statement, just pause for 10 seconds because I love silence. Okay. And we let the listener repeat that statement to themselves. And then the second statement, and then so on. Let's do the 6 statements again, and then we'll come back.
And 30 seconds in between?
10 seconds should be enough, I think.
10 seconds, okay. Everyone, I am 10. I'm doing the best that I can with the awareness that I have. I'm always right with the awareness that I have. I am enough. I do enough. I have enough.
Thank you for doing that. There's another thing that's popping up for me, and I'd love your views on that, Steve. We're living in a day and age where the noise is so strong that we don't even have the space and the time for silence. As soon as there's silence, we feel like, what's next? What next noise can I switch on for myself? What do you think about this relationship that we have with noise and silence?
We're addicted to it. The biggest addiction, Eckhart Tolle says, the biggest addiction we have in the world is overthinking. It's an addictive. We're conditioned for it. We've been traumatized. Most of us, how many times as a child did your parents say, what are you thinking? Think. So it's ingrained in us to think. In school, how many teachers told you to think? How many times were you punished for not thinking? What were you thinking? Whack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were conditioned hard to think, but we weren't conditioned hard to intuit. We weren't conditioned hard to be ourselves. We weren't conditioned hard to play. We weren't conditioned hard to love. We weren't conditioned hard to respect. That is our natural state.
It's like the stakes are against us because we've been conditioned to all these difficult things. The brain's still primitive. It's all fucked up. What do we do, Steve?
My favorite word. Thank you.
you can use it. You can use it on this podcast. Okay. So what do we do?
Don't give me that permission. I'll use it a lot. So what do? You overcome it. that's I don't know how it works on the other side. I love what ifing, okay? Because you hear so many things. What is the afterlife? Why do we come back? Is there reincarnation? Is the light the moon, and it is a reincarnation machine? I don't know. I don't know. If I did know, it was my race. My mind was a race. I don't know how it works, and that's what And you have to love not knowing. So many people are addicted to having to know. Okay. I know what I know, and I know that I don't know. And people come to me and they say, I don't know they get everything's collapsed. Those of you out there, your whole life's collapsed. You don't know what's going to happen next month. Well, guess what? When did you ever? Okay. You just start laughing. Never. But it will pass. So, that I promise it will change. Change is the only constant. So what I say to people, repeat the question because I went off in a tangent.
That's okay. The question's been answered. But as you were saying that, what was also coming to me again was we've been conditioned, right? So I was talking about that, how the stakes are against us. And I think it seems that with so much knowledge around us, like I can go to ChatGPT or I can go to Claude and ask it, right? This is how I'm feeling. What should I do? And I don't even have to talk to a human being, which is blows my mind away. But why do still intelligent, capable people, why do we still keep sabotaging ourselves?
Because we haven't let go of, we are appointed 10. Think of this game of 10 as appointments, keeping an appointment with self. So we're appointed 10, and then through life's disappointments, 9, somebody looked at you the wrong way. What did they, why did they do 9? Okay. 8. Oh, somebody hit me from behind and I had whiplash and I can't work. I'm paralyzed. That's a trauma. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Your life has just been, what are you going to do? It's like, so we have a choice then. We don't think we do, but we do, to have that trauma, be identified with that trauma.
Yeah.
And live through the lens of that trauma or disappointment.
Yeah.
And then we see things from that level of awareness.
Yeah.
Or we have the option to, good segue to forgiveness. Most people don't know how to forgive. I actually coached a minister in how to forgive. I love. It was like, oh my God, I never thought of it that way. So I'd love to share with the audience I learned from Marianne Williamson this technique. She's one of the best teachers that travels the world on lecturing on A Course in Miracles. So I'm going to give her credit for this. I'm sure she learned from someone else too. But so when we do say these phrases, they're wonderful to quiet the mind. I've actually had 2 people bliss out saying it. I haven't, but I've had 2 people bliss. Like, I can't think. And I go, and they start laughing hysterically. I go, and about a half a minute into it, they're just they're blissing out. I go, are you going to leave? If you leave your body, let me know. I'll help you get back home. Because they were just like,
I'll call 911.
Yeah, they'll take him to the psych ward. So, yeah, no, I would not. But anyway, so that's the good thing, quiets the mind. The other good thing, because everything's good, it opens up a whole can of whoop ass, okay? So, from your subconscious. Things that you open up that, remember this. So, you think you're 10? Oh, you think you're right? Well, what about this? What about this? Fear, self-doubt, guilt. It does open up that channel too from your subconscious to let go. So very important, people listening. When you say these phrases, make sure you do this equally. Whenever you do those phrases, take anything that comes up from your past, thoughts about feelings, thoughts about emotions, thoughts about your mind, thoughts about your body, because those are things. We are not a thing. We have things. And those are the things that we have at our disposal as tools. So they're to be used as one with our non-form. Those are forms. Thoughts are forms. Emotions are forms. Feelings are forms. Body's the form. The mind's the form. So use it in conjunction with your formless. That's your right brain, left brain. So make sure that here's the visualization. So we have two things above our ears called temples, right? Mm-hmm. So we're an idea in the mind of God. God's an idea in the mind of us. So create a temple in your mind. Utkarsh, have your own temple. I have my own temple.
Got it.
Divine temple. I asked Marianne one day if I had a carpenter, could it be and then it said, so you have to have also an altar. I said, if I had a carpenter, could I have a carpenter's bench? She looked at me, she goes, no.
You need a temple then.
I said, I'm trying to figure this out. This is your thing. And she goes, no, it has to be sacred. Okay. So we have to have a sacred place in our mind that we do a ritual, because we're doing rituals all the time, whether we know it or not. Every thought is a prayer. Boom. So when people think they have to forgive or let go of a person, place, or situation, including themselves, it's the thought about ourselves. It's a thought about a person, place, or situation that happened to us that wasn't loving.
Yeah.
Or that was conditional.
Yeah.
That conditions us. So we have to let go of the thoughts about. I was a florist for 30 years. So I have bouquets of thoughts. I used to have truckloads of thoughts going there. Eventually I'm down to a bouquet, a hand-tied bouquet. Boop. And if you're going to say something when you're there, putting those thoughts on the altar, say, I'm willing to see things differently. Because we're willing to accept that we're less than 10. So we have to be willing to see ourselves back at 10. Yeah. So our free will is very powerful. Yeah. It's free when we're 10. It has a cost when we're less than 10. It always comes at a cost.
It does. It does. And what I'm walking away from this conversation, Steve, is that we're all born these divine beings at a 10. And then over time, the erosion, the conversations, the comments, the things, the thoughts, the things that stick to us are starting to erode it. And then we spend our whole life depleted. And it's a disservice to us and humanity if we don't get us back to that game of 10.
Because we're not trained to exercise our minds.
Yeah.
They think that reading a book or doing math problem, yes, it does exercise your brain, but it doesn't exercise. It does exercise your mind, but it doesn't exercise your being, yourself. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You need to clean out. You need to clean out the old refrigerator, the food for thought that's 5 days old in the fridge. Correct. You got to clean stuff out.
Clean it up.
So we're not trained for that, and hopefully, that's why I love spreading this word. Clean up your mind. It's the thoughts. Okay, it can be. It's what you make. It's the We're told different things. That is. Yeah, I mean, that was a bad example. But
no, thank you. I think as we come to the closure of the conversation, Steve, we started with that 8-year-old little boy who did not give a shit about where you are right now. But if we now go into the future and we go to the 80-year-old Steve, the 80, and if that Steve comes back to you right now in this moment and has one piece of advice for you, what would that Steve ask you to do?
Be unapologetically yourself.
I love that phrase. I love that phrase. I have a program with that name, so I just love that phrase. Thank you. Thank you. Before I do a recap of what we've spoken about, to everyone who's still listening with us, about 40 minutes into the conversation, you've invested your time. And so my assumption is that we did speak of something that was of value. Keep it to yourself. Keep this a secret. Because if you share it and people don't watch it, then it's a waste. But if you know someone who you think will value this conversation, who's ready to let go of the fear, the self-doubt, the shame, the guilt that we spoke about, and is ready to get to a 10, back to a 10, or is a 10, then share it with them, because then they'll enjoy it and more people will. What Steve and I have given you today is that we listen to the 80-year-old Steve's wisdom. Be unapologetically yourself. Build a sacred place within your mind, because you need it, that you can go back to. Remember, you always have a choice. You always have agency. Through life's disappointments, you keep losing the points. You got to come back up. You've got to consciously overcome it. And remember, whatever you're going through right now, joy, sorrow, depression, extreme emotions, all of that, this too shall pass. The mind thinks of not who you are, but of who you aren't. And so you'll have to consciously shift it. If you can do one thing from our episode today, then go and build yourself an inventory of gratitude. Remember, to succeed in this life, in whatever that success looks like for you, you have to go as deep as you go, similar to as high as you go. You get the point. You have to remember that boundaries are important, but boundaries are not walls. And if you're feeling depressed, overwhelmed, anxious, go see a doctor, whoever that is. And we're not against that. But start with a deep breath. You've got this. Start with a deep breath. Redeem yourself. The 6 statements that Steve shared twice in our episode today, they're a declaration of who you are, of your divine innocence, and of the awareness of the present moment. And remember, that little boy, that 8-year-old, does not give a shit. So live your life to the best that you can. Do not stay conditioned to the more that we want. Find joy in the silence that you have. Steve, any closing words before we end the conversation today?
I think you summed it up perfectly. So thank you so much for having me on your show. And it's always, every time I meet you, it's so cool. So thank you.
It's such a joy. It's such a joy. To everyone who wants to get in touch with Steve, we'll put all the links in the show notes. And again, remember, if you're on a podcast platform, comment. If you're on YouTube, share this only with people who will enjoy this. And if you're not subscribed, that's such a shame, because we do have great conversation with podcasts. So subscribe to the IgnitedNeurons Podcast. And this is Steve and Utkarsh signing off.